my experience was super positive. I had my job within a week finishing, and it did prepare me. Like I said, I still turned up on the first day terrified, but I felt much more ready than I would have otherwise, and I don't think I would have ended up in my current role without it. My name's Chris. I graduated from Northcoders in November 2023, and I currently work at Verticode as a mid-level software developer. The company I work for is like an MVP studio, so we work on loads of different projects. I work like full stack, so I work in the merge stack, so I could be working like back end or front end depending on the day. Yeah, I really enjoy it. So it's really varied, and like my day-to-day is, like I say, because of the varied nature of the products we make, they often have like different integrations. It's really enjoyable. It's a big step up from what I was in for. Before I did the bootcamp, I was working as a maths teacher. So I worked as a maths teacher for nearly 10 years. And then I kind of started doing some coding through school. So I worked with some students on maths problems using Python. And then from that, I got into learning to code. And that kind of led me to looking into what's happening in industry, which led me to Northcoders. The biggest thing about Northcoders was that it seemed very kind of up to date with what was happening in the industry. I obviously was aware of like lots of different options for learning to code, and people obviously spoke really highly of certain ones, but one of the kind of ongoing things was the tech stack that some of these things used was like really outdated. So pretty much everything the main part of Northcoders that I use, which was like HTML, JavaScript, JSX, React, is still my day-to-day. So I think that and relatively short time frame, as opposed to going like the university route and doing like a conversion course, something like that, was why I went to Northcoders. I found the teaching really good. I think the biggest thing for me that surprised me how good it was the availability of my mentor. The support was fantastic. The mentor system worked really well for me. I probably had 20 at least one-to-ones with my mentor, like outside of our kind of scheduled ones, just where I've reached out to her to ask something about some code or run something by her. And yeah, it was always really helpful. I still use a lot of the same things I use on Northcoders in my day-to-day. I've now reached the point where I do sort of mentoring of junior developers. I recently did some pair programming on it, as in she was writing code and I was kind of helping her out. And that really reminded me of the hours I spent tech programming at Northcoders. I would say that absolutely really prepared me for my role. Gave me a really kind of solid grounding in, modern frameworks that I still used are used in the industry. The careers team at Northcoders kind of gave me a few run-throughs through my CV before I added it to the jobs board. I think I had an idea of how to write a CV, but I guess the main thing that stood out for that is they knew what employers wanted to see. Because I thought, given my teaching experience and given I had sort of self-taught myself some of the coding, I thought I'd be in a good spot to apply things, but I just had no idea what the industry was looking for. And that's where the bootcamp really helped me, is in terms of by knowing what employers were after, what to highlight in my CV in terms of relevant experience, things like that. I was extremely successful in my career search, if I can say so. I applied on the Northcoders jobs board with like 2 weeks remaining in the bootcamp, I think it was. So we at some point at the bootcamp, I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks from the end, we got given access to the Northcoders jobs board. I applied to some jobs on there, and fortunately, however you want to put it, I had a couple of roles reach out to me. And one, I had an interview in the final week of the course. I had my initial interview, and then I think it was the final day of the course, I also started my coding task for that for Verticode. And then the following week, I think I had a final stage interview, and then I think it was Friday the following week, they gave me a job offer. So if I was talking to someone who was thinking about applying for Northcoders, I would say absolutely explore the world of software development with the resources available online. But where Northcoders really stood out for me is it prepared me for the tools that are being used in industry today, and like learning modern frameworks that you're going to continue to use in your day-to-day job.